To the weather now, and we are not the only ones dealing with this Arctic blast. Tonight it's snowing in the south. Right now a rare winter storm is sweeping across the Gulf Coast from Texas to Alabama and Florida. Even the Big Easy, New Orleans, was blanketed with snow from Bourbon Street to the Superdome. Most folks don't know what to do down there. What did they say? What is this? Several airports throughout the region are closed today because of the snow, air, and that ice. NBC Nightly News has the latest on this potential record-breaking condition storm. It's 6:30 tonight after this broadcast.
You nailed it. I mean, after being in the South, you and I have both been there.
Yeah.
They don't know how to handle it the way that Cleveland knows how to handle it, Bets. We are, well, I'm not, but they are pretty darn good experts at how to handle all of this.
Yeah, we kind of leave all the heat and humidity to them and the hurricanes and all that. We kind of take the ownership of the cold air and the winter storms. We have our own mess to deal with here with this frigid air that is set up in the area. Record-setting cold temperatures tomorrow morning. So we have our weather impact alert that continues through the early part of tomorrow as these dangerous wind chills that are associated with these cold temperatures. We are going below zero very soon if we're not already there. Look at the temperatures down to 1 now. Now that the sun is set, there goes the temperatures, and the mercury will stay below zero overnight all the way into tomorrow morning. As a matter of fact, those record lows will be possibly broken or tied in many areas. We're talking about 10 degrees below zero here in Cleveland for tomorrow morning's low, which would tie the record high. Elsewhere, we could be setting new records, or record low, I should say. So along with the cold air, we also have wind, and at this point even a light breeze will be painful. So we have wind chills that are currently anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees below zero in much of the area. Farther to the east, where this blast of reinforcing cold air has not yet gotten in here, we still have temperatures that are in the single digits above zero. So you can see the difference in the temperatures from Elyria to Dover. That's because we've had a reinforcing shot of cold air moving in. Our cold weather warning continues through tomorrow morning till 10 a.m. That's where the wind chills are expected to be 15 to 25 degrees below zero or colder potentially. But we are not alone in this. This is a huge batch of cold air, and right along the edge of the cold air, that's where the winter storm problems are really firing up. Look at the snow that's raking across the deep south all the way back through the Gulf Coast. There are some reports out of New Orleans that they have 10 inches of snow in Louisiana. So as this whole mess continues to move out, that's only one sign that we do have the cold air that is on the move. On the western edge of the cold air, a clipper system may start to work its way in here with a few flurries by the time we get into Thursday, but as of right now, we're not really looking for a lot out of that. National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. We go into the basement here. Look at your morning wind chills, 20 to 25 degrees below zero. We will have some areas that may hit even into the 25 to 30 degree below zero range tomorrow morning. The good news is we have a south wind, and that same south wind will help to buoy the temperatures so that by midday, we're above zero, but the wind chills are still below zero. And it looks like in the afternoon, we may even make it into the teens, which will feel like summertime here in Northeast Ohio. One thing I do want you to know, this south wind is an interesting fact that we have to contend with when we start to talk about ice on the lake. We have had rapid ice development in the last 24 hours. Look at this. Now, well over 30% of the lake is now ice covered, but that's just the cover. That's not the thickness. And if we kind of dive in on some of the charts to look at the ice types, there you see we've got some of these darker purples. That's thin lake ice, very important to know, thin. And then the dark purple here, that's where you get into the medium lake ice. So what does that mean? Well, that's literally the thickness of the ice. And when we talk medium, that's 6 to 12 inch thickness. That's not enough to drive a big truck on. So no ice is safe ice. And of course, there's a lot of folks that are keeping their eye on the ice because they want to try and do a little ice fishing or some recreation. It's not ready yet, friends. Just stay off of it. Here's your Union Home Mortgage forecast. Once tomorrow morning's cold hit is over, we moderate. Temperatures staying up around 30 degrees all the way through the weekend.